Live from the campus of Bellvue High School in Bellevue, Washington, it's the Washington State Lacrosse High School Game of the Week right here on the Lacrosse Network. Good evening, everybody. Scott Oshman along with Talia Klein. We've got a great girls high school varsity matchup tonight. Lake Sammamish comes in to match up with Bellvue. And Lake Sammamish, they were in the state championship game. You and I were there last year.
We were.
They lost a tight one to Bainbridge. They have a lot of returning varsity starters, Talia, but they lost a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. They sure did. And Lake Sammamish is always very strong on the offense, but what's really exciting about them this year is defensively, they're super strong. They played Bainbridge, a rematch of the state game, just, I think, last week, and they kept them only to 5 goals, which, if anyone knows Bainbridge lacrosse, is unheard of. So it should be a really great, strong team to watch defensively.
And they're led by senior Meg Chapman. We'll take a look. Number 11, she is fun to watch. Incredible numbers, caused turnovers, led the league last year, leading so far almost through 7 games. Just tremendous player. On the other side, it's second-year coach Aaron DeWarty for Bellvue. They're a young team. It's a young program. But if you know anything about Bellvue High School, they know how to win here. The boys football team, they're the number 1 team in the country. So they've got some prolific scorers as well.
Sure, they do. They have 2 players in particular, Kendra and Lauren.
Lauren Tudor, yep.
Lauren Tudor, exactly. And Lauren Tudor is a sophomore, and so it'll be exciting to keep an eye on her and watch her through as she progresses through the game. I think at this point in the season, she is responsible for the majority of the team's scores.
Stay with us right here. We've got a couple pregame festivities here in Bellvue. We've got one of their students, a senior, going to sing the national anthem. We'll tell you about her in a second. But stay tuned for this week's Game of the Week right here on the Lacrosse Network. Bellvue High School here, just a short 15-minute drive across the floating bridge from downtown Seattle. We're getting set here for Lake Sammamish versus Bellvue. First want to tell you, that Wrecking Ball Demolition is a proud sponsor of the Lacrosse Network and the Washington High School Game of the Week. Wrecking Ball Demolition offers full building demolitions, neater, cleaner, and faster. Wrecking Ball Demolition, demolition with a difference. To learn more, visit wreckingball.demo.com or call 425-339-3111. Getting set, we're going to have a treat here in Bellvue. Senior student here, Ellie Nadell, is going to be singing the national anthem. Ellie heading next year to the University of Denver. Used to call it DU, but apparently it's University of Denver, Talia. You're a native, played lacrosse at Colorado, right?
I'm a native to Seattle, but I did play at Colorado, University of Colorado for 3 years. I did.
Well, Ellie is a former lacrosse player, we're told. We're a little hurt by that. We thought she could actually sing the national anthem and then head down there and play.
That would be a skill.
That would be. She's multi-talented, though, heading to Scotland this summer, we've learned. So we get more of it. We got the best seat in the house here up in the booth because she's standing right here.
Sure.
And we get to hear her sing firsthand. But before we do that, they've done the stick checks. We have our umpires tonight, Kim Gunnarsson and Mark Hahn. Kim, a veteran umpire here at Lacrosse. And we should tell everybody about Talia Klein, I call her TK, the coach. Seattle University head coach and also Kennedy High School head coach. 5-0 coach TK.
This is true. This is exciting. It's been a very exciting season thus far, and the remainder of our season will be a challenge. So I know my girls will rise to the occasion.
Well, I am. If anybody, we'll make the T-shirts up for Coach of the Year right now.
Please do. Please do.
So Talia is very entrenched in the community of lacrosse here in the Seattle and Western Washington, and also the Northwest and West Coast. We've also got Tony D'Alessio, the second-year varsity head coach for Lake Sammamish, but his first year there, he was Coach of the Year at Mercer Island before he came to Lake Sammamish. Mm-hmm. Great guy. You've known him for years.
Yeah, he's wonderful, and the girls love him. And what we discovered today is that he actually never played lacrosse and just started coaching after someone noticed that he did well with the girls playing soccer. So he's really taken off.
He was coaching soccer, correct, at Mercer Island, long time there, and I said, come on, I don't know anything about girls lacrosse, but that doesn't matter. He has been tremendously successful. He was Coach of the Year. He championship in 2009 when they had Division II. Last year, he got him to the title game against Bainbridge and made it interesting at the end. So Tony D'Alessio knows exactly what he's doing. And as we're waiting here just for a few minutes for the start of this game and the national anthem, and here we go, Ellie Nadell. That was the starting lineups in the national anthem. A great job by Ellie Nadell, and you saw the starting lineups or the entire team for both Lake Sammamish and Bellvue. Let's talk a little bit, Talia, as we start this. Let's talk about for Bellvue in the white jerseys there, Lauren Tudor. She's just a sophomore coming in 7 games, 27 goals. Yowza.
That's outstanding. That's great. I mean, as a sophomore, she must have such poise and confidence on the field to be able to drive to the goal as well as she does, apparently. I have not seen her play, so I'm really looking forward to witnessing this. And she has 3 assists and 21 ground balls and 33 draws. I mean, she must know what she's doing. I have a feeling she's played before.
Also on the white, 26, Kendra Satov, you saw there. She's a senior, 13 goals, 4 assists, 17 ground balls, and 18 draw control. So they've got some power. And as you see, Lauren Tudor there in the white for Bellvue at the draw. And then that's 16, Claremont Sauce. Again, just a phenom, a senior, 18 goals coming in. 12 ground balls and 26 draws.
Yeah, this should be a great draw between these two. They'll be very competitive, and it'll be interesting to see where they go. Both teams are lining up. They were lining up on the far side, and the ball did not go that way.
Sammamish ends up with the first draw, goes right to goal and scores.
Awesome.
Number 16, the person draw to herself. Claremont Sauce adds to her season total with her 19th goal.
Yeah, that took 14 seconds. As a coach, I like to tell my players, get a goal in early. Let's set the tone of the game, and that definitely just did that.
Lake Sammamish averaging 10 draw controls a game, which is pretty good. They'll start it one more time, and this time Lauren Charlton will go for the draw for Bellvue. Again, Monsas gets it herself, gets it over to Alex Johnson.
They made an adjustment on that draw. Instead of pulling it over their shoulders or pushing it, they actually drew straight up to try to see if either of the centers could get it themselves, and Claire did.
Alex Johnson, no slouch, a junior out of Woodinville High School, 20 goals coming in. She can shoot. She had a great game against Lakeside, had 3 goals in their big win over Lakeside just Monday night, 8-7. Lakeside, one of the powerhouses. You see the shot off goal, and Lake Sammamish will retain the ball. In goal for Bellvue is Chloe Gose, coming in with 31% save percentage.
That was a mistake on Lake Sammamish. At this point, you really just want to possess the ball and really see what their defense is made of. And that's kind of what they're doing now. They're passing the ball around and trying to get a read of what Bellvue's defense is. Claire's
got it now, and 23-31, they scored within, seconds. And take a 1-0 lead. Sammamish, the lead in the ball. Claire driving in, now gets it around the cage, looking for a cutter, finds one, shoots, and that's another goal. That's Emily Sokol, the junior from Inglemoor High School. She's had 11 goals coming into tonight and make it 12, Talia.
That was a classic, just a classic assist. That was beautiful. And basically, she threaded the needle. Someone cut inside the 8, and she found her wide open stick, and they finished. And it was beautiful.
What is Bellvue now? Down 2-0. Again, not anything to be nervous about. What do they need to do defensively, Talia, to get back in control? Obviously, they need the possession.
Yeah, they probably need to just calm down a little bit and get their sticks up and start communicating more. Communication is really the most key component of any defense. You've got to be letting your other players know where you're at, who's got ball. They're just a little frustrated right now.
And that's again Alex Johnson with her first goal tonight from Woodinville High School. She goes in and gets another one. So 3-0 Lake Sammamish jumping on Bellvue early here.
And what I'm noticing right now is Lake Sammamish has a player hanging down low on the attack in between the 12 and the 8 meter. As a defensive player, I would be extremely nervous if there was an offensive player behind me. I would make the adjustment to go mark her immediately.
Well, Bellvue has tried 3 different girls at the draw, and they've been unsuccessful. Claremont-Sance gets control one more time, and now they're going to toss it around on the top of the 12. Good defensive stop there by Bellvue.
There's a ground ball. You know, this game, you'll hear me say it over and over and over again, this game is about possession. Whoever possesses the ball is in control. Small mistakes can mean heartache in this game. So if you can hold on to the ball, even in the defense, and work the ball up the field, you'll give your offense a chance to be successful.
Bellvue had it, then Sarah Wyrick got it for Sammamish, and they had the control. Now again, good defensive play by Bellvue, trying to get a ground ball, trying to get possession, but Sammamish comes up with it. Gets around the cage, trying to crease roll.
Great defense on Bellvue there. It's very rare to see people crease roll from the left side, and that's just what happened. So for 21 on Bellvue to really stay with her and push her out, that was great.
Nice little dish.
There we go. It's really nice to see Lake Sammamish assisting as much as they are this early in the game. As a coach, it's really great to see your players being unselfish.
That's Sokol's second goal of the night. Sammamish now up 4-0, but sit tight. That's what we love about girls lacrosse. You can come back in a hurry.
That is
Let's
true.
see what Bellvue can do. They just get a possession here.
The draw is the most important part of this game. It dictates who is in possession and who controls the ball.
But Claremont-Sance kind of running the board, running the table here on draw control. She's gotten every single one so far. Gets it down to Johnson.
Yep.
They're going to work the back of the cage now, look for cutters.
Whoop. Player down on Sammamish, recovered.
So girls lacrosse, again, one of the fastest growing sports in the state of Washington, Talia. There's over 4,000 kids in the state of Washington playing lacrosse, over 200 WIA member schools involved. Is Sammamish now going to take some time? Again, no shot clock in high school or college girls lacrosse. They have it in the boys.
They sure do.
Have kind of a monitored 30-second clock as Sammamish adds to their total now 5 goals, and that's Sarah Wyrick, the junior from Lake Washington, getting into the scoring action.
You know, it just seems like Bellevue's defense is they're a little slow, and they're not anticipating the cutters, and they're behind the cutters. They need to get a step in front of the cutters so that they can get their stick to stick and deny these inside passes.
Bellvue, I mean, they average 12 draw controls a game, coming off a big win 18-7 over Nathan Hale, and here we go. Maybe they will get one. There's a call on the field.
It was an empty stick check call. In girls lacrosse, you're not allowed to check the stick until the ball is in the pocket, and a lot of times on draw controls, when the ball's loose and flying all over, there's a tendency for that call to happen from time to time.
I was just about to tell you about Bellevue senior Janie Finley, who got the ball but then turned it over. And here comes Lake Sammamish one more time. Again, this is Tony DeLessio telling us before the game he lost 5 very potent seniors, but he's got 8 coming back. This should be one of the premier teams. You basically, you have Lakeside, you have Bainbridge, obviously. We saw them last week in a juggernaut of a game. Eastside Catholic, a 9-9 tie.
That was a good defensive slide right there.
Sammamish attacking, now coming back. Now she finds her in the middle of the crease, and that's Hannah Linsky, the junior from Lake Washington High School.
That's good coaching right there. I always tell my girls, if you can find yourself in the middle of the 8 and no one knows you're there, golden.
Shutting out the Wolverines so far is Lake Sammamish, 6-0 with 19:46 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, at this point, Bellevue just keeps changing up the draw to see if they can get someone in there who can be successful against Claire. Claire's obviously very skilled, and when you find yourself on the losing end of the draw, you need to make some adjustments, and you need to go for the stick instead of defending the body. You have to make sure that you're stick to stick. So hopefully Bellvue makes that adjustment.
Saw number 1, Amelia Cherokino with the ball. Junior, we saw her last year in the state championship game, play a great game. And Sammamish now taking control. Again, they tried, Bellvue did, trying different girls on the draw. Julia Clark, the freshman, tried at it, but Monsant still had it.
Lake Sammamish is sending a player into the middle of the 8 every single time, and they just were unlucky, and she didn't get the ball this last pass through. But it's really, I'm hoping Bellvue can pick up on that and mark her out. This is where you want your goalie to be yelling and saying, there's a player inside, there's a player inside, and hopefully that'll alert your defense to that.
There's an errant pass, but Sammamish is there for the pickup for the ground ball, and that's Claire Monsauce. We saw this last year, Talia, in the championship game. Monsauce is hard to stop. She's all over the field. She's got ground balls, caused turnovers, goals. She does it everything.
Oh, beautiful play. Oh, unlucky.
Nice save. Either a save or off the pipe there by Gose. They go back and get it.
So Sammamish was running some sort of an isolation play right there where it ended up just being a give and go with 2 players on the opposite side to where the majority of the offense was, and they sucked all the defense to the other side, which is exactly what they wanted to have happen. This is another classic move, a double crease roll. Great job for the goalie.
Nice save by Gose.
Oh, and a recovery. Nice. Let's see if they can maintain possession.
Bellevue's got the ball. Umpire Kim Gunnarsson calls that on Lake Sammamish.
Probably an on the body call.
It's a pass, but now they have to deal with the defense of Lake Sammamish. There's a call now on the field.
At this point in the game, Bellvue is frantic, right? They want the ball. They want to get it down on their attack, and I understand. And so the most important thing that Bellvue can do right now is play smart. Play clean and play smart and take care of the ball.
Here come Lake Sammamish one more time with a 6-0 lead early in the first half, just under 17 minutes to go. Here's Cherokino now coming down. Gets it off another roll and shot wide.
Those are hard shots right immediately off the goal line extended. She didn't really have the best angle. Not to say that she can't make that shot, but I typically would like to see a player come around at least a few more inches before shooting.
Sarah Wyrick with the ball now for Lake Sammamish. Again, another returning starting varsity player. She drives to the goal. She's going to take a shot, and it gets by Gose. And that adds to the total now, 7-0. Bellvue trying to get possession of the ball and trying to get it over into their attack zone.
Yeah, it just hasn't happened yet. It will, though.
Second goal for Sarah Wyrick.
And a timeout.
Timeout on the field. Good chance for us to tell you about high school lacrosse from Spokane to Seattle and Linden to Camas. High school lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in Washington State. Now it's in its 4th decade of play. 4,000 student athletes attending 200 schools in Washington State will play high school lacrosse this season. To learn more about high school lacrosse in Washington State, visit WashingtonHSLAX.com. That's WashingtonHSLAX.com, a great resource for anything boys or girls lacrosse. And speaking of the boys Bellvue lacrosse team has won many state championships every year that the team to beat. Next week, their spring break, they're going to head to the New York area, the Long Island kind of area, actually, and play top competition, some of the top schools in the country.
That's great. I mean, I think any exposure that Pacific Northwest kids, boys and girls, can get to see the rest of the country's lacrosse is only going to benefit the entire state, because they'll bring back knowledge of what all these other states who have had much longer programs than ours, and they'll elevate the game. It's going to be very exciting.
Always competitive nationally. Bellvue boys ranked Nike's U.S. lacrosse ratings this week, ranked 7th in the West. Also want to invite you to advertise your business on the Lacrosse Network Washington High School Game of the Week. Game of the Week broadcast features some of the best high school lacrosse matchups in Washington State and are streamed live to anyone with an internet connection. So reach thousands of dedicated Washington Prep lacrosse fans and more with your advertising message and support high school lacrosse. To learn more, call Teresa 425-772-3056 or email her at teresa@myedmondsnews.com. Had over 520 views on the Bainbridge Eastside Catholic game last week. On 2,000, the Seattle Prep first game of the season.
Oh, Lake Sammamish came up with that draw. Bellvue needs to get their hands down on their ground balls, and that will make this draw control hopefully better for them if they can make that adjustment.
Monsas taking control. The field general from the back of the cage, taking a look at her cutters. We said we're from Bellvue High School here. This is quite a place with quite amount of history. We told you about the boys lacrosse team. You see Sammamish take another shot on goal. Good save by Ghost. But the Bellvue football team, Talia, they are ranked number 1 in the country.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I can't remember I'd be remiss if I remember exactly the state championships they have won here, but a tremendous tradition here at Bellvue and one of the storied programs in the state, if not the country, of high school sports. So I think Bellevue's girls lacrosse team, they'll get it going. They know how to win around here.
I think so too, and I think, Bellevue has always had a program that is in the middle of the field in terms of competition, and I think they just need some consistent coaching and to get the girls a little bit more exposure to a consistent coach, and they'll be good to go. They've got great athletes.
One of the athletes for Lake Sammamish, Amelia Cherokino, scores her first goal tonight, her 5th on the year. Saw Cherokino last year. She's a junior, attends Redmond High School. Now you see the draw control in the college game, Talia, this year. They moved to 3 girls on the circle.
That's correct.
Do you think that's something that you'd like to see in the high school game?
It definitely has its advantages. I'm so used to having 5 girls on the circle that I'm not used to the new rule. But what it does is it creates less traffic. And so, beautiful save by the goalie of Bellevue. That was
excellent
was
save by Ghost.
That was a one-on-one. Those situations are so hard to beat, and she did a great job undefended on that one.
Here comes Bellevue. See if they can hold on possession, cross the midline.
There we go. Oh, Lake Sammamish is swinging. Oh, and she got called on that. Can't be that aggressive in this sport.
Changing some numbers on the field for Bellevue. That's 21. Don't have that on our roster.
Oh.
See if they can get it. Now they go across into the attack zone.
Oh.
Can't quite hang on as Lake Sammamish gets it away with an 8-0 lead. 13:55 left in the first half. Bellevue trying to solve the puzzle of Lake Sammamish as Claremont Sauce, one of the leaders, the senior.
Right now what Lake Sammamish has over Bellevue is that they're catching their balls on the transition. Bellevue is just trying to get the ball up the field and out of their defense, which is completely understandable. But as they don't catch these balls, that's a 50-50 ball for Lake Sammamish to come up with it, and it's happened the majority of the time. Just happened again there. So I'd love to see Bellevue hold on to the ball a little bit more and try to run the ball up the field instead of throwing it in such a Hail Mary fashion.
Lauren Charlton for Bellevue had the handle there on the ground ball, couldn't hang on. Now Sammamish coming back again, trying to add their 8. There's a pass over her head, but she saves it. Nice athletic save, but it'll go out of bounds. It'll be Bellevue ball. And Sarah Wyrick couldn't quite get there in time. Again, it's just about Bellevue. It's the feeder teams, and it's still a young sport here. We talk about Bainbridge as we played our game of the week last week. Again, they're older sisters, families. It's been there since the early 80s, late 70s. 93, I think they were involved in the first state championship game. So it's all about creating those feeder teams, getting the youth programs up and built.
Absolutely. And in a few years, I think the competition here in Washington State amongst all the schools is going to be, and all the programs is going to be vastly higher than it is now. It's just, like you said, it is just taking time.
Madeline Bach, though, 28 for Bellevue. Finally now in the attack zone.
There's the Sammamish defense. They just swarm. They had their sticks in the right position, and they were able to force the air. They didn't even have to check the ball. She threw the ball, and it hit the stick, and they recovered the ground ball.
And that was senior Meg Chapman, who has all kinds of college looks right now. Yeah. Coach Tony DeLessio telling she's got a couple different options. He wouldn't tell us. We tried, Talia.
We really did try. But it's that time of year for these seniors, right? It's so stressful, and they're probably thinking about it more than they should. So
there's Meg Chapman right there. Gets it off to Alex Johnson, and here they come once again with an 8-0 lead with 11:19 left to go in this half. But a lot of great college opportunities for high school girls lacrosse. USC has three Washington State players on their team, D1. Today was a historic day. Pac-12 Network covered Oregon USC today, two Division I schools, which was fantastic for the state and for the region and for the West Coast.
That is really exciting.
But they've got players at D3, at St. Mary's, at Claremont, at Redlands. A lot of girls getting looks at D3, D2, and D1.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll continue to get stronger and better as these programs develop.
Sure, and to my knowledge, the two schools that would go D1 in Washington State would be University of Washington. I guess there's three: Washington State University and Seattle University. So it's a race to who's going to go first, which would be really exciting for our state to have a competitive D1 team.
Cherokino gets to that ground ball uncontested.
Oh, nice defense, Bellvue. They're on to it. They're on to the cutters in the middle. So that's Lake Sammamish is going to have to be a little bit more sneaky now that Bellevue's hopefully going to stay with them.
That was 42. Lauren Tudor in there, a good defensive move. She's playing the middle right there. Ball's down, and it's picked up by Bellevue. Now see if she can keep the handle on it. That's Emily Nickerson, a sophomore. 10:28 left, 8-0. I've seen bigger comebacks, Talia, to be honest.
Hey.
Anything can happen on the fastest game with 2 feet.
I mean, you never know. You never know. You know, I know for my own experience, my current team this year, they are a second half team. They like to shine in the second half and like to not shine in the first half. So maybe that's what Bellevue's about to do here, is just open up a can.
Open up a can. I like it. Coach TK telling it like it is here. Wyrick now on the attack, coming down, trying to find an opening to build on that 8-0 lead. Bellevue's just got to get possessions. They take another shot wide. That's Alex Johnson.
Yeah, that was just a bad decision. She didn't move the goalie at all. She was just trying to float it in over her right shoulder. And, you know, in this sport, you really have to respect a goalie. The goalie should be the most athletic person on your field. And if you don't respect her and just throw the ball at her giant stick or miss the goal, you got to take a few more seconds to decide if that was the shot worth taking.
Bellevue tried to get it by. We were talking about number 11 in the black there. Meg Chapman said, I'm taking this baby away from you. Adding to her caused turnover, 9 coming into tonight. I think she has 1 ground ball, and that's her first caused turnover. They changed the assist rule this year on statistically at high school. You had to be, I think last year, 3 seconds getting to the attack or to the goal offensive player.
Oh, interesting.
And now if you throw it to the attack player, and there's Meg Chapman, gets into the goal fest here with her goal. I think that is might be her first goal of the year. The senior from Woodinville High School, Meg Chapman. Look at her. You're going to see her playing college lacrosse.
Lake Sammamish is loving that little trick of around the goal. They've got that down. It's you know, and as a defensive player, it's so hard sometimes to really see what plays are being effective. Like, you know they're getting by you, but you don't know how to make the adjustment because you're so in it. So hopefully at the halftime, Bellevue's coach will really explain exactly what they're doing on those crease rolls. Oh, there
Draw
we go.
control by Bellvue.
Nicely done. Love to see her score right now.
That's Kendra Sadoff. The senior gets it. She
Oh.
shoots, and a good save. Again, the goalie, Miranda Taylor, haven't been able to talk about her for Sammamish. Comes in tonight 5 games with a 46% save total. They also have Anna Kearley, who is feeling a little sick, was ill. I think she's suited up. We saw her before the game. As you see, Kendra Sadoff, the senior in white for Bellvue, trying to get something going on the board.
Mm-hmm. And as a coach right now, it's important to drive, but it's also important to maintain. Nice.
That's a goal by number 36, Tanya Barrios, the junior.
Well, what I was saying is it's important to drive and see where you can find the holes in the defense, but when you've worked so hard to get your ball down on the attack and your defense is just getting hounded, slow the game down. When you have possession of the ball, the other team does not.
We love the obvious here at the Lacrosse Network.
Well, you know, sometimes it's the obvious that gets lost.
Absolutely. It's a 7:42 mark. Bellvue gets on the board.
Here we go.
9-1 now.
They just needed a little confidence, and here we go.
Satoff now taking the draw control duties, and there's bodies on the turf as Mark Hahn, or the lead official on the near side, directs it Sammamish ball. Now to Wyrick. Wyrick looking for somebody cutting back. She finds someone, gets it on the ground, and there's another call down there. So at least Bellvue gets on the board. They got a little confidence. They know they can do it. They just got to get the draw controls.
Exactly. That's exactly what they have to do. They have to maintain possession and be selfish with the time. They just have to wait for the right opportunity, not take too many opportunities.
Also in high school lacrosse here in the state of Washington, there's a 10-point rule. There's a running clock if you have 10 or more points. And that's not in effect right now. Hopefully Bellvue can get back in this game. You see Alex Johnson with the ball right now. Good defense by Tudor. Not letting her roll inside the 8.
That is great defense by Bellvue. Bellevue is aware that they're trying to run a play right now, and Lake Sammamish is just being very methodical and being very, very precise. Oh, great cut by perfect. Oh, nice save by goalie.
Nice
Excellent
shot,
job.
nice goal save again by Chloe Gose. She's had a couple here in the waning minutes of the first half. Trying to get the ball now. You get a good ground ball.
Yep.
Bellvue in business. Wolverines try and transition. Now they're into the attack zone. Again, that's Emma Schweitzer, the sophomore, number 28 with the ball coming in tonight. She has 4 ground balls, 3 draw controls.
They lost it.
But they'll have to try one more time.
They sure will.
That's Molly Mitchell with the ball, Talia.
You know, at this point, I would be swarming their midfielders like bees, trying to deny them the opportunity of passing the 50 once Bellevue's gotten the ball down to their end. Try to just keep a hold of it. They've got to make smarter choices with the ball.
And that was Sokol to Johnson, number 13, Emily Sokol, the junior Alex Johnson. Another goal for her tonight. Again, now it's 10-1, Lake Sammamish over Bellvue. Good little interior passing there, Talia.
Absolutely, threading the needle. You know, that is not an easy skill to do. It's very hard to get your stick open in the 8 meter when there's defense all around you. defense hasn't been that tight on Lake Sammamish yet, so it has been a little easier for Lake Sammamish to find those open sticks.
Possible draw control, but no. Sammamish comes up with it once again.
However, they're doing better at this part of the first half of putting some pressure in the midfield. They just now need to transition that down the field. Oh.
Monsas finds Sokol in the angles there, and she shoots and gets it right through the pipes.
Right through the pipes. She was positioned beautifully in the 8-meter, and that's just time. I think when you have good trust and good communication with your offense, and you can read each other and know who's going to be there for you, those plays like that just are natural, and you can tell that Lake Sammamish has some real solid players and can play well together.
Well, 11-1 right now. See if Bellvue can get control. Nice try.
Nice. They did.
And here we go.
Now they just need to slow it down. Lake Sammamish is hungry for that ball. They want it. So
Janie Finley trying to fend off Meg Chapman there. She gets control with a nice call. And Finley will try and take advantage of the possession.
Finley's had 5 goals all season, so maybe she'll get her 6th here. Passing it off. Bellvue's trying to find the seams. But Lake Sammamish, their defense, as we know, it's pretty solid. You know what I like to see about Lake Sammamish is they're turning around, they're seeing the ball, they're in between their ball and the player. They have great defensive positioning.
Trying to get it to Madeline Bach, a tough pass.
Wow.
Picked off by Sammamish, and here comes Sammamish down.
That's just unlucky.
That was a bad roll right there.
Yeah, that's hard. That's going to be a hard one for the goalie to recover after that one. But
Jessie Clinch, the freshman from Woodinville High School, will get the credit. Her first goal tonight. Number 28. 12-1 should be a running clock. Stay tuned right here on the Lacrosse Network Game of the Week, our halftime show. We have a great guest, Jason Hennig, the president of Washington High School Girls Lacrosse Association, the Schoolgirls Lacrosse Association, I think is the proper name. So we'll talk to him about just what we've talked about the first half, the state of the game on the women's side and the girls' side here in the state of Washington. Got a lot of collegiate athletes already on their way, a lot more coming. You see Lake Sammamish trying to build on that lead. Now, if you're Coach Aaron O'Dwyer, what are the halftime adjustments, Talia, that you're telling your young team?
Well, one of the things that I'm noticing about Bellevue's defense is they're really spread out. I mean, at this point right now, Lake Sammamish is passing the ball around, and you have to maintain possession, but they're just too far away from their players. If they really want to apply the pressure, they have to commit. And at this point, I would have them be right up on them. But at the halftime, I would just say, this is a game about heart, and this is going to come down to being clean with the skills that you are comfortable with.
Johnson now rolling, trying to get maybe her 3rd goal, already has 2 tonight. Pulls it out. Now they're getting instruction from their coach, Tony DeLessio.
Tony's a great coach. There's no need for Lake Sammamish right now to score. They've already shown that they know how to do that, and they can do it very well. So it's nice that he's making his girls work. And these are skills that they are going to need in the latter part of the season. I believe after spring break they play some really tough games, 3 in 1 week. So
Lake Sammamish off for 2 weeks, Talia.
I know.
Multiple spring breaks. Bellvue goes on spring break next week.
Yeah, that's hard. Spring break is a killer.
Coach Tony might be out practicing by himself, trying to find somebody to pass with.
Sure.
See Sarah Wyrick with the ball as the clock winding down now, under 40 seconds to go in the first half. Stay tuned here.
I have a feeling they might end with a shot. So just
try and make it 13-1. Some game summaries coming in. We'll get to those in just a second. As they wind down here, 17 seconds. Some girls scored. Ballard to Gig Harbor. Gig Harbor 13, Ballard 10.
Wow.
Good game down there. 4 seconds. They tried to roll into the 8, see if she can do it, but Kim Gunnarsson calls it, and that'll do it for the first half as it's a running clock. A little bit more about that Gig Harbor Ballard game. Haley Didway for Gig Harbor, 4 goals, 2 ground balls. And we'll get to more high school sports scores, around the league, both girls and boys, and want to tell you about that Mercer Island team who's already on the East Coast. But stay tuned. We're going to take a very short break here for the halftime show with our special guest, Jason Hennig, the president of Washington Schoolgirls Lacrosse Association. Stay tuned. We'll have second half action. Right now it's 12-1, Lake Sammamish over Bellvue on the Washington Lacrosse High School Game of the Week right here on the Lacrosse Network. Lacrosse Network, our halftime show. I'm here with Jason Hennig. Jason, tell us a little bit about, you're the president of the Schoolgirls Lacrosse Association. Tell us a little bit about what's going on right now, the state of the game, the union, basically, state of the union for Washington High School Girls Lacrosse.
Well, we're mid-season or just about mid-season. Most of the schools are, either on spring break this week or approaching spring break. So it's mid-season, and we've got a diverse set of teams across the league. One of the most significant things for us is last year we restructured the league. We took all the varsity teams and kind of put them all in a big pool and divided them up by conference and created a regional conference, trying to drive some regional competition and things like that. So that was a big event for us last year, and we really saw that be successful, and it's continued this year as well. We've got 33 varsity programs in the state right now. Most of those are on the west half of the state. The Seattle proper area has a large majority of them. Gig Harbor moved up from a JV team last year, so they're our new varsity program, and you spoke about them earlier, having a tough game there with Ballard, but coming out on top. So it's great to see a young program like that step into the varsity league and do quite well. So.
And how about the girls, for high school lacrosse girls, getting a ton of exposure on the national scene, the national stage? We have more girls going to college, playing college lacrosse than ever. Double-digit growth in Washington lacrosse year after year after year.
Yeah, it's actually a great problem to have with the amount of growth. There's girls that want to play. They see the sport being played, and they're asking, what's the closest team that I can go play for, and things like that, which is a great problem to have. We have probably close to 1,000 girls at the high school level playing between the varsity and JV teams. At least 1,500, if not more, in the youth feeder programs across the state, and we're pretty excited to have Gonzaga Prep out in Spokane is playing in our JV league this year as well. So we're really trying to reach to the other side of the state too, and grow statewide from that perspective. The really neat thing too is to see local kids get recruited by the colleges. We partnered with the Washington Stealth here in January. Their kickoff game, we brought in some women's national team players that are also college coaches. Lindsay Monday down at USC, Danielle Spencer out at Northwestern. We're actually in town. We had about 100 kids down on the turf at Comcast Arena going through a clinic and really enjoyed it. But it also gave these college coaches an opportunity to see the quality of kids that we have. And actually Lindsay down at USC has 2 Washington players on her roster right now. I mean, Jackie Hennigan was a senior standout last year. She's making great plays for them now, and Alex Foreman from Eastside Catholics on the team down there at USC too. So it's great to see. We've got a few of them, certainly Claire and Meg Chapman and some of the kids that are seniors out there right now have an opportunity to go play collegiately. So that's great opportunity for them.
Well, phenomenal work. We want to thank you for coming to the halftime show, Jason. The game is growing leaps and bounds. We're excited to have the exposure right here on the Lacrosse Network, and thank you very much for coming and spending a few minutes with us.
Yep. Thanks.
Excellent. We'll be back with second half action right after this. You're watching the Washington State Lacrosse Game of the Week right here on the Lacrosse Network. Girls varsity lacrosse coming to you live from Bellvue High School in Bellevue, Washington. Scott Oshman alongside Talia Klein, Coach TK. And Bellevue finally has the ball. That's a great sign for the Wolverines. This Tudor comes in inside the 12, the 8. She shoots and she gets a goal.
There we go. What did I say? Second half team.
Way to start off the second half. They're down 12-1, an early goal right here in the first few minutes of the second half.
Lauren Tudor of Bellevue, player number 19, she has been selected for the regional team this year, which is very exciting.
That's great.
I'm sorry, not number 19.
42, number 42 in the white just scored the goal.
Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more goals from her back at Nationals.
I know we have a great crop of high school kids going to represent the state of Washington. The regional team is Sammamish gets that draw control. And that's the senior we were just talking about, Claremont Sauce, gets it off.
Beautiful
now good.
Interception.
Great pickoff. Again, 21 for Bellevue. Apologize, do not have her on our roster here. They know before the game they switched up a couple jerseys It's the play-by-play nightmare there. Play-by-play guy's nightmare, Talia, when they switch jerseys.
Yeah, that is also a coach's nightmare when
Yeah.
you're when you're trying to predict how to defend a player and then they switch their jerseys.
Number 1, Amelia Cherokino. She had 1 goal in the first half. Out with the ball for Sammamish. Good to have Jason Hennig on at halftime talking about just the explosion. You know, it's fun. You can just feel it as we do these games, Talia, and you're involved in the community. Just it's always fun to be part of a growing, exciting, everybody's enthusiastic. We have the east side of the state coming on board, the south side of Seattle,
Yep.
Gig Harbor, and
Yep.
Lake Tapps, those programs going.
Yeah, it's, when I played back in the day, we really just played against the same 12 teams consistently. And now it's what did Jason say? We have 33 teams, which is just so exciting. It's really, really awesome to be a part of this fast-growing community.
Cherokino, and also on the boys' side, I believe over 60 teams on the boys' side. They're experiencing incredible growth as well. Sammamish kind of slowing it down here. Just the opening minutes of the second half with a 12-2 lead.
Mm-hmm.
Try over with a shot there. Now they're just going to toss it around. When I know it's early in the second half. When you were talking the first half as far as adjustments, when's Bellvue coming out and start double to take some risks?
Well, they have nothing to lose. I would maybe be doing that now, trying to pressure the ball and force the air as much as you can. You got to get the ball in your best player's stick, and if you allow Lake Sammamish to pass around you, it's not going to happen on its own. So, as their coach, I would be telling them to be calculated and pressuring the ball a little bit quicker than they are.
That's 21. I want to apologize to everybody in Kate Lanziger's family. She's number 38. She is 21. We got that last second minute note here, and she's a senior at Bellvue. She had the ball, had the right idea, but it came up with Sammamish, and there's a shot and another goal for Lake Sammamish. Trying to see, is that Sokol? No, that's Claremont Sauce.
She just beat 3 Bellvue defenders to score that goal. Obviously, she is clearly her stats state the record, but she is a solid lacrosse player. She is poised. She is skilled, she is quick, and she reads the field well. Can't ask for much more.
Second goal tonight, 20th on the season for the senior out of Redmond High School, Claremont Sauce, as she goes and tries to get another draw control. She's had good luck all night long.
You can tell that this Lake Sammamish team is hoping to get back into the championship game. They're playing to win. They're working all their skills tonight, and they're really solid.
As she gets that draw control, want to tell everybody about Mercer Island. The boys out east played Scarborough and won 15-2. Grant.
Great defense, Bellvue. There's the slide that we haven't seen all night. That was really nice. Hopefully they've started communicating more. Being this far from the field, it's hard to tell, but as a coach, that's exactly what I would be demanding of my team.
Good job by Bellvue.
Now just if they can hold on to the ball for a little bit, see what happens.
Passing and catching in those crosses. They do not have the deep pockets as the boys do. A little bit more difficult. Some would say a lot more difficult. Right, Talia Klein?
Well, I don't want to diminish the boys' sport at all. No, it is more difficult. You can't just pick up a stick and learn how to catch on the first go. You constantly have to be moving your stick, especially when someone's defending you, to keep the ball in the stick.
Tudor now hands it off to her teammate. Back to Tudor again. Told you she's going. She made the regional team. Just a sophomore.
This is exciting to see Bellvue. They've actually settled their attack. This is the first time all night, and they have the skill. They have the tools. It's just now, can they execute? And can they get beyond Lake Sammamish's intense defense?
Finley
and right now it doesn't look to be the case.
Has got to deal with Meg Chapman, the caused turnover leader, adds to her pile of caused turnover stats.
You know, as a defender, you don't always get the most glory scoring all the goals, but if you can be known as a tank on your team for ground balls and cause turnovers, as a coach, that's what I want to see. I want to see the toughest defender. I want to see someone just be an outstanding player at the bottom of the field. That's where the game starts. I mean, she started this play, and that's
Little transition, a little fast break action by Sammamish as they slow it down now with a huge 13-2 lead. Again, the clock will not stop, running clock. Usually the clock stops after each goal, except in the last 2 minutes of the half or the game. Then it stops on each whistle.
Mm-hmm. You know, what I really am appreciating about Lake Sammamish's offense is it's not full of a lot of tricky bells and whistles, but what they do so well is they create space for one another beautifully. They pass and cut, which is like one of the most basic tenets of women's lacrosse in general, but they just do it so well, and they're getting Bellevue's defense confused in the process, which is what this game is about. It's a game of cat and mouse.
I want to tell you about, we've been having great girls games the last 2 weeks. Next week on the Lacrosse Network is the Washington High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. April 9th on Tuesday, we have the boys Mercer Island going in to face Bothell Ingamore High School. As you see, Bellvue gets the ball one more time, trying to add to their total. She gets a hard check from Meg Chapman.
Meg Chapman knew she was in the wrong. She didn't even wait for the ref to finish his explanation. She just took her 4 meters, which is the appropriate thing to do. You can't get too pushy in there.
Kendra Sadoff now with a free position from the 8, bounces one, kind of like lost the handle there a little bit, and we have a new goalie between the pipes, Anna Kearley for Lake Sammamish. Looks like good to see Anna feeling better. Coach D'Alessio telling she was not feeling well earlier in the day. Didn't know she could go, and there's a stop by Anna.
That was almost an own goal, which are the worst. Good thing she stopped that one.
Clear, and here you see up to Johnson. Now
Beautiful.
to Chiriquino, the transition.
Beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see on a transition, is moving the ball across the field. You want to change the field of play so that defense is never in front of the ball. Lake Sammamish just basically put on a lesson on how to do that.
So Lake Sammamish took it on the chin 5-1 to Bainbridge, talking that was a very, the field was not in great condition, kind of an interesting game, Tony D'Alessio telling us. Other than that, they've pretty much taken control. They have a big win, 8-7 over Lakeside, favored to be in the championship, or at least there. They've been in it so many times before.
I think last year was the first year that they weren't in it in about 10 years. It's always been the Lakeside Bainbridge show. So
Lakeside head coach Jamie Asaka, fantastic coach, been there so many times. Sarah Wyrick comes into the 8.
That was a great slide defensively. That was perfect. They led with their sticks. There was no shooting space. You couldn't ask for a better slide on that.
Johnson now gives it off to her teammate.
I have a feeling that Bellevue's defense is not communicating. At no point should somebody drive to the goal without a double team, and that's the on-ball defender's responsibility to call for help. When you're on defense, you have a very tough job. You have to have your head moving constantly. You have to see your player, see the ball, and know where you are in relationship to the goal. And if you don't see somebody cutting right next to you, you're kind of failing your team. So that just comes with practice.
That last goal for Sammamish, the freshman, her second goal of the night, number 28, Jessie Clinch. Good to see the freshman on Lake Sammamish get some action, and Alex Johnson did a nice gesture there by giving it off to the freshman so she could have a goal tonight and add to her total. She had one kind of a dribbler in the first half, kind of rolled across the line. So the freshman gets 2 goals tonight. 13:40 left to go in this one. Lake Sammamish with a 14-2 lead, taking control. Again, if they had a time of possession, it would be mostly the ladies in the black jerseys there for Lake Sammamish.
And at this point, like I said in the first half, they really should just be practicing their attack and making sure that they can catch every single ground ball when they play Mercer Island or they play Overlake or some more competitive teams, Sammamish. You miss a ball and it's a bad situation. So at this point, when they're working their settled attack, they've got to clean it up and make sure that it's air-proof.
Sammamish tied now in the Snoqualmie League here in the state of Washington with Issaquah and Overlake in league play. Atop the leaders, you see a crease roll attempt there. Nice defense by Lauren Tudor.
And Bellevue's defense is now a little bit more aggressive. They're a little bit closer to their offensive players. But again, they're still giving Lake Sammamish a ton of room to play around. You know, at this point in the game, with 12 minutes to go, when the ball's behind, you've got to send a player to go get the ball. You have to get possession.
Any other rule changes, Talia, you'd like to see in the high school game here? I know that we talked about 3 on the circle. We've talked about the boys' college game getting a shot clock. Anything else you'd like to see?
I would like to see
Sarah Wyrick takes a shot. Nice save. Oh, by Ghost, but she loses the handle.
Uh-oh. We're going to get
and there's a check to the head by the goalie now. Is this a yellow card? We haven't had a yellow card tonight.
This is an interesting situation if the goalie gets a yellow card. Apparently they're not calling it a check to the head.
Okay,
a check to the head is an automatic
yellow card. She'd have to sit for 2 minutes, wouldn't she?
So whatever they're calling, it's an offsetting foul. I feel like the Lake Sammamish player may have crossed into the crease.
Yep.
So I don't know what the call was on the goalie. That would have been a real interesting.
Umpire Kim Gunnarsson now doing the toss. And there's offsetting fouls. They go to the sideline and give a toss. Sammamish again comes up with it.
You know, back to the rules that you were mentioning, I really want to see the game stay the way it is in terms of safety and protection. I don't want to see the girls go to a helmet situation. When I played, we didn't have eyewear, and I might get, people might not like what I'm about to say, but I'll say it anyway.
Where's the dump button?
No, I do feel that the game has gotten more aggressive and more. I've witnessed more injuries now that there are the goggles because I think it gives players a false sense of protection that they can be more aggressive.
Another nice interior passing, another shot, another score. Trying to get a number on that. Looked like number 24. 28, excuse me. That's again Jessie Clinch, the freshman, with their 3rd goal tonight. So, yes, the helmet. In fact, our Brittany Suzanne, a color analyst on the first 2 couple women's girls games, she also did not. Again, big time. She played a lot, grew up in the East Coast and played D3 ball. Did not want to see a helmet come into the game because she thought it would give license to be a little bit more physical. And if you talk to coaches, and we've gotten a great influence now from coaches and players from the East Coast, they're not a big fan of checking.
No, and in fact, I teach my girls not to check. You know, if you have the right body position and your fitness is right and you can keep up with the other team, you shouldn't have to check because then you can depend on your double teams, rely on them to get the ball, and the forced error will happen naturally. Checks, I like to say the check is a gift. If you are in the correct body position and have done all the work and the stick is still hanging where you can grab it, then take the check, but it's a gift. It's not a given. So
well, if you watch again the great the Lacrosse Network and all the different opportunities now, you get to see more college women's lacrosse. There's Lauren Tudor looking to Mark Hahn questioning that defensive call.
I agree with Lauren Tudor. I think that was more of a charge than a block.
Nonetheless, a free position.
I don't think Lake Sammamish is going to go for the shot. I think they're going to keep playing and passing the ball around.
Wyrick gets it back again to the freshman. Already 3 goals tonight. Again, Lauren Tudor trying to do it all for Bellvue here.
She really is. She's working hard. She's working hard. And that's great.
Clinch comes up with that.
She's a freshman, man. To have somebody who's that hungry and that driven and that composed, Bellevue's set up for success. I mean, she's a leader. And
Good save by Chloe Gose.
She will elevate the game for everyone involved. Oh, they're doing...
Now there's a call as she got it off to her teammate. And what's happening down there, Talia Klein?
Well, unknown. That is illegal. That is a legal play. If the goalie is not in the circle, she can place the ball in the circle and another teammate can run through. It's called an orphan. And I'm curious if the refs don't know this call or if the goalie stepped back in before the other player cleared the crease.
Kim Gunnarsson on your right has been officiating lacrosse for many, many years. She's probably discussing it with Mark Hahn. Mark, I think, is one of the newer officials. Again, that's also a challenge getting high school adult umpires.
It sure is.
In the state of Washington.
It sure is.
But,
it shouldn't be. They are the highest paid officials in the state.
Are they really?
They are.
Let's take a second to do some thank yous of our great sponsors. I want to tell you about Sticks to Schools. Think Fit. Sticks to Schools is the youth fitness program of the Washington Stealth. With Sticks to Schools, Stealth players encourage fitness and healthy lifestyles by introducing lacrosse to your school or your youth group. To bring Sticks to Schools to your school or youth group or learn how your business can support this innovative program, visit stickstoschools.com. That's sticks, the number 2, schools.com. Also want to thank our great supporter of the Washington High School Game of the Week here on the Lacrosse Network, Wrecking Ball Demolition. Wrecking Ball Demolition, it offers full building demolitions. They do it neater, cleaner, and faster. Wrecking Ball Demolition, demolition with a difference. To learn more, visit wreckingballDemo.com or call 425-339-3111.
It looks like the referees' conference on the field is over, and they have given the ball back to Bellvue, which is what they should have done. I think, I'm not sure who blew their whistle, but if what you're saying is true, I'm sure that the newer ref maybe was unaware of that rule, and now he knows.
Well, Bellvue retains possession, and you see Lauren Tudor, who carries this team on her back, doing it all, taking it down in transition, setting the offense up. She's going to go behind the cage.
You know, and at this point, Bellevue's not going to – the likelihood of Bellevue coming back and winning this game is slim to none. So what I would be doing as the Bellevue team is just make sure whatever you do is perfect. If you're going to score, if you're going to take the ball into the net, make sure that it's a worthy shot so that you don't have to chase the ball down like what's about to happen here.
Madeline Bach tries to play. Want to see maybe we can get – we had such a great halftime show with Jason Heddig. Wanted to try and sneak in these U.S. Lacrosse Players of the Week for week number 3. And we'll see if our great director here, Angela Camo, can fly these pictures in as we talk about it. We won't want to lose any game action, so we'll try and weave those in during the game with 6:43 left.
Goalie Anna Kierley just had a save, which is nice.
Anna comes in tonight. She's played 4 games, 18 for 32 with a 56% save.
They're using her again to move the ball in the defense, which is great.
Good ride defense now by Bellvue, Talia.
Yeah, they want the ball. Bellevue, they just need to possess the ball and be a little patient. They're hungry for it, which is great, and they're continuing to fight. It's not always easy to keep your head up in a situation when you're down by 13, but you know, Bellevue, I'll give it to them. They are not giving up. They're staying right with them. They've just had a few careless errors.
5:55 again, a continuous clock for this game. If the lead is more than 10, we got very lucky with the weather. We had a huge rainstorm come through the area earlier before the game. We thought we might have a monsoon out here, but the skies were pleasantly clear when game time started. So lucky here, springtime in Seattle. You just never know. Temperature around 55 degrees at the start of the game, but we got lucky with no rain.
We sure did. It's not fun to play in the cold and the wet here, I'll tell you that. Never gets easy. At this point, Bellvue really needs to be right up on Lake Sammamish. I mean, they should be shoulder to shoulder, stick to stick, fighting for every single pass. You know, and as an offensive coach, I like what they're doing. They're moving the ball. But if you don't have pressure on you like the player does right now, there is no need to pass the ball. Why?
Getting no shot clock in girls or women's lacrosse yet. So you can go out there and hang out and just sit with the ball if you'd like.
You sure can. And that's when defense should really get involved in the game. You know, that's a defensive call. They need to put the pressure on.
Sarah Wyrick in Lake Sammamish able to get
go.
that ball. Now she's getting contested out there.
There we go.
Gets it to Sokol. Sokol has a little trouble but gets back in control.
And once you put pressure on a team, no matter what the lead is, I mean, pressure is pressure. You're going to force some errors. It's a natural occurrence. And if Bellvue just hangs back and allows Lake Sammamish to move the ball, Lake Sammamish will never feel that pressure or urge or need to pass off.
Tanya Barrios getting called for a cross to the sphere or a slash or a check.
Something of the sort.
Dangerous play is usually what they call down there if they don't know exactly what happened.
We hear that a lot.
3:42 left in this one. We're glad you're with us. Scott Oshman along with Talia Klein, our Washington State Lacrosse Game of the Week right here on the Lacrosse Network again next Tuesday, April 9th at 7 p.m. We switch back to the boys' game. Mercer Island High School facing Bothell Ingamore High School, and that game time is 7 p.m. So stay tuned right here on the Lacrosse Network or YouTube/TLN as Cherokino drives into the 12 through the 8. She'll get called.
Yeah, that's a 3 seconds call on Lauren Tudor. She was just hanging out in there. She's frustrated. She wants the ball, and she's hungry for it. You know, in girls lacrosse, you cannot be inside the 8 unless you're within a stick length of the player that you are marking, and she got caught.
Right after the conclusion of this game, not only will we tell you about the player of the game tonight, and Talia Klein will get to choose that, we also want to run through these great student athletes, the U.S. Lacrosse Players of the Week from week number 3 in both boys Division I, Division II, and also the girls' side for varsity offensive and defensive players of the week. So stick around right after this with 2:27 left to go. In this one, a big lead, Lake Sammamish 15, Bellvue 2.
And you can see Bellevue's now applying some pressure, and Lake Sammamish is having to pass faster, and they've dropped some balls. And if Bellevue were right up on them, these would be 50-50 ground ball opportunities.
Sarah Wyrick cranks through the 8 and then decides to dish it off to Cherokino, and she tosses it around to the far side of the field as time is winding down now, under 2 minutes.
You know, another thing that can be done in lacrosse, which is, I don't see it often, but at this point you have nothing to lose. You can pull your goalie from the game and send another field player to act as a double team. So basically they're a puppy chasing down the ball wherever it is. You know, and at this point, Bellevue could definitely use an extra player on the field to help get possession of this ball. But
solid passing and catching by the Lake Sammamish squad.
But I have to give But I have to give Bellevue props. Unfortunately, there's a minute left in the game, but the moment they started to apply pressure, Lake Sammamish started to give up more errors. So, and that just comes with practice and time and understanding what a stall really is. So hopefully they can turn something into a goal here.
Margaret Ghost there with the ball number 10, the senior, her sister, the
Wheels.
goalie for Bellevue.
Wheels, here we go. Let's see if she can finish. Someone's wide open down low. Oh.
That's Madison Strauss,
Yes.
14, down to 26. Did she get it? Waiting for the official call from Mark Hahn.
Oh,
and there's no goal.
She caught it in her legs, I think.
Kendra Sadoff getting shut down.
That's heartbreaking. Here we go, defense. Come on.
Again, a call crossing the sphere, across body check there.
Across the body.
24 seconds left. Again, stay tuned. We're going to give you the U.S. Lacrosse Players of the Week. But Talia Klein, who's the player of the game tonight?
The player of the game tonight.
I can let you think about that for 10 seconds.
I would have to say senior Claire Monsas. She's just really dictated the speed of this game with all of these draw controls and really passing the ball well and making sure that all of her teammates are getting the touch, and that's the game.
And that will do it. It's a final here, 15-2. Lake Sammamish cruising easily over the Bellvue Wolverines here from Bellvue High School in Bellevue, Washington. Want to tell you the U.S. Lacrosse Players of the Week. Our boys Division I Player of the Week is Bellvue right here, senior Cole Johnson. Johnson's recorded 10 goals and 5 assists for 15 points, along with 11 ground balls on the week, as the Wolverines finished with 3 wins. Cole and many other Bellevue kids heading on to play on Saturdays in college. Our Division II Player of the Week on offense is Linden High School senior Devin Connor. Connor had 4 goals, 7 assists, and 3 ground balls in Linden's 2 wins for the week. On defense, our Division I Player of the Week is Curtis High School's Zach Budnick. The senior goaltender finished the week with 6 ground balls, 1 assist, and 27 saves as the Vikings rolled to win over Bainbridge and rivals Bellarmine Prep. Division II defensive player is Gig Harbor freshman Noah Sampson. Sampson grabbed 5 ground balls and scored a goal on the way to its 3rd win of the season, a 9-5 win over Clahoye. Our girls varsity player of the week honorees. On offense, Interlake High School junior Camille Johnson finished the week with 13 goals and 2 assists and collected 13 ground balls for her Bellevue East Lacrosse Club. And on defense, Lakeside School senior and Mercer Island resident Natalie Fox. She had 13 goals, 14 assists, 14 draw controls, along with 10 ground balls as Lakeside finished the week with a perfect 3-0 record. You can read all the details about these fine players on the Washington High School Lacrosse website, www.washingtonhslax.com. Well, it was fun to see Claire Monsance and Meg Chapman and Lauren Tudor and all of those great players, and we look for them later on in the season. But that's going to do it for us right here in Bellevue. For everybody here, Teresa Whipple, our executive producer, Angela Camo, the incredible director, the entire HBN staff, and my great partner, it's good to back to see you, Talia Klein.
Absolutely,
Coach Tican, wish you best of luck the rest of the season. We'll see you later, actually. We'll see you later in the season.
Absolutely.
This is Scott Oshman saying so long from Bellevue High School in Bellevue, Washington. We'll see you Tuesday night for when we switch back to boys. Mercer Island High School and Bothell-Lincoln-Moore High School at 7 p.m. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.